I'm gonna close this file. The main purpose of what I am going to try to do today is take a look into ComfyUI. And maybe close Facebook window, because I'm pretty positive you could hear me double at this point. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm here. I'm taking a look at this animation thing that I've downloaded, well, a workflow that I've started out for doing the animation stuff, apart from Luma AI that I'm gonna be doing, that I'm experimenting with, that I just want to, in case anyone does not have like good GPUs or the time to figure all of this stuff out, I just want to start documenting a lot of this stuff, and I want to start developing, because, you know, if you look at this stuff, you just start to realize that it's very, very much the case that you just, there's like so much stuff left to do in this world, and just like when it comes to computer science and AI and just programming in general, and figuring this stuff out is pretty difficult, and it just goes all over the place. I've been rendering like images for days now. I think, let's see, when did I start? End of May, so 25 days of rendering, and most of what has come out is just pure garbage. And after 25 days, I'm finally starting to get a bit of a hang of it. There's still really weird stuff going on, like you could see before. If I'm opening a different file here, it's still very bizarre at times. Like, these don't do, it's okay because I'm like faking movement here and making, it's not coherent, and I get this artifacting that just keeps popping up. I still haven't found how to perfect that and how to make sure that doesn't happen all the time. And the eyes, like when it comes to animate diffusion, the eyes are still strange. I think I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna drag the workflow in here. I have like expanded this one, and I'm creating this modularly. It's very sad to go back to like the initial state, because there are still, you know, even though I've been creating really bad stuff for like days or weeks, there's still like gold out there, and stuff that I've been doing where just certain parameters were just not set very well or very nicely or snugly in the way that it needed to be done. I think there's like a lot of gold to be gotten out of this this sort of model, and just doing the whole animation stuff here. If I go and take a look at the one that I was looking at before, I've started to realize, and it's not like rocket science of course, but it's like the CFG does not match the automatic A1111 or just the general. Once you start to use AnimateDiff, it's pretty problematic in the way that it's going to start doing certain stuff, or like in general, you know, CFG could be in a regular just creation of an image, it could be very high, and then usually it breaks down once you go lower. But with AnimateDiff and this one, as far as I've noticed, it really goes to crap when you just put it too high and do the regular sorts of settings. Like again here, I believe this artifacting happens because the initial image is too too large. The larger I go, the more this sort of problematic look comes into it. I was constantly thinking like that this is like a part now that was created by the second sampler that's in there, that like ups the resolution and upscales and makes everything look nicer. But the problem is that doesn't seem to stack up. It behaves strangely and sometimes unpredictable. The unpredictability being a large pain in the ass, because it's just I should be able to do like 1080p on my 4090, but it's just if I do 1080p, it like at the K sampler level, it just freezes up my card. I think it's just right at that spot of 24 gigabytes. If I close like really everything, sometimes it jumps back and goes further. Like the last time it did that, it didn't do that. It was just a setting that was wrong. But again, like if you go and look here, like if anyone, like if I can inspire anyone to start developing for this here, there are no good solutions for this menu. I've looked them up, I've tried just about everything. Saving queues and stuff is not working. I am looking through the code. I'm gonna go through the code probably later. I'm gonna, where is there like a, is this the one? Yes, I have the ComfyUI folders here open, which is located in my S-Matrix folder. But again, this is so much stuff to go through. Of course, these are just mainly the nodes. I already have like experience with like just K samplers and just the code for what is it, like training models and stuff like that. But it's like, again, if I have to go through all of this, it's a little bit of work. I've been talking to some people who are doing this sort of stuff. I'm definitely going to start working on these. Control net. So we have Comfy. Okay. Model base, which all load in this. I don't know in how far all of this is like very conveniently made. Is still under development. I don't quite know why it always, like in every node, imports torch. You can't even once it's loaded this program, and which is one of the biggest issues right now with running this software, is also that once it's running as per its Python, it's running and you can't adjust or change anything. I can't on the fly change nodes, and I've currently gotten so many nodes, like so many nodes, which isn't a huge problem, but there's like no rules, there's no conventions. I have so many nodes. Some of them do like the exact same stuff, or they overlap. I have two node groups called math, and they seem okay. It's all over the place. I have to get like logic stuff in there, logic gates, which are really not very well supported, or supported is not a problem, but like some things, or although they used to work already before, already are no longer supported because no one is maintaining them, like masking in certain areas that would give me leverage over doing certain stuff here. I'd have had to like figure these sorts of stuff out, which is with some Boolean. I used this and I already wouldn't know where to find this anymore. Where is the Boolean stuff, which is probably one of the maths? No, it's not a logic gates, those are new that I started. Utils is not one of them. KG nodes. Crystals is the only one that is like kinda okay. I had to switch here one of these the thing with this one here, like the upscale image by, if I make this into an integer, it doesn't allow me to connect an int node to to the scale by, not even a float, I think maybe. I think I tried that, so I had to do it with like the width and height, and it's not bad. It's actually way better that I can do some of these mathematical operations over here that I have to then adjust. But again, the more I am expanding and the more I am adding, the more redundant like all the previous stuff that I have been doing that is like really related to the art, because that I have to do all these technicalities is really annoying. I'm doing more of the art stuff in here, or would like to prefer more of the art stuff in here. I see the eye thingy here. I'm gonna okay. I just added a detailed eye LoRa to this one to try to mitigate the eye sort of problem that we had, that I was talking about. If this one finishes and goes to 100%, then I can actually like start to look at how this has been affecting it. But I think maybe did it already? It was already there. Maybe I'm gonna compare. Maybe the eye thing is actually making it worse, because I don't think this was made for anime diffusion. You see, those are both the same, basically the same premise, but I feel like the eyes are almost less jittery. It feels almost like adding the eye detail thing actually is like trying to make this work, and because of it, it's like ruining it and making it look very strange. Let's see, what have I been doing yesterday? This is another part that I might just redo this at some point. It's like been a while since I've been streaming or recording myself, and at some point I might go back to what I am doing here. I just want to start structuring my thoughts so that I can make decent videos on how this stuff works and how you can like avoid the pitfalls, because again, this took me 25 days of already like bullshitting a lot with myself. But one thing that I wanted to say about this one and what was happening here, if you look at this one, it's like okay, pretty decent here. Here it goes into this weird, almost abstract, and then it's going a little too fast for me to actually show you. So I'm gonna look. Okay, this is detailed. Then this, as it is now, is like very strange. It's almost nonsensical, and then it goes and drifts into this, which is supposed to be it still looks weird, but that's a problem of interpretation. It doesn't have good symbolic representation in there like DALL-E has, for example, and Midjourney V6 has increased in like a little bit in how well it can do that, but it's still not there. But if you then look, and then it drifts, and this is something that happens at some point. I must have tried doing some settings here, and if I put these on with these masks and I put this on, this inverts it. And I had a huge problem with this. Like, once you set this on, it completely ruins everything that happens in your video, and you can't do anything about it. So you might not know where to find it or how to, just the pattern of how it's structured, and then those 4 is okay, gonna give it away, but it took a long time for me to figure it out. I thought it was just I was toying with all these, and then I was setting the CFG to the highest settings as advised, and my experience was with normal image generation, and then that, you know, got everything out of whack so badly that I just couldn't figure out that this was wrong too. And what that does is like it breaks the image apart, but if you put all these on true, the image is also gibberish, of course, because you've inverted the image, which I haven't actually seen what the output of this is, but I think it's gonna be like the way you invert an image and the colors are like in reverse. It's really bad until you just turn all of this stuff off. Always keep that stuff off. I don't know why there's this inverting in here. I haven't really seen quite how much this affects the greater whole, putting the weights up. I think I have to look at this. The thing is, I still am using 1080p on this one. It's for some reason 1080p on the first one ends up not being great. It really fucks with you. It doesn't like being like that. I'm gonna check something for a second. That's not 11. No. 8. No. Okay, interesting. So I don't really... Oh, 0.5. Yes. Still 0.5. 0.25. Okay, so I'm testing out if I make this value that is like 1/4 of the 1080p here, that I can get this artifacting away, because I think this is happening mainly because of the large or the size of the entire image, which is not super great. I do enjoy the trippiness of it, but I would have to find out a way to like sort of like guide this myself and not oversteer into nonsense, because sometimes it is nonsense. If I open some here, this looks like it's... Don't use Keras. I used to use Keras again for just about any sort of image generations. For images, Keras is pretty good when it comes to, you know, the whole the standard DP-MPP2M. Keras is a very good one. It's SGM uniform. I might test this out on single images, this SGM uniform, because the images looks just so much better. Like if you compare, this is very unlikely to be Keras. Just how flowy things are. Just, and again, this is one that like failed horribly because again you see nonsense and respects to something coherent and nonsense, and this is like the inversion issue that I had. I think I did this later on, and I think this one is the one without the inversions. If you look at it here, but it almost feels like it's Keras. You can actually check if this is Keras. It almost feels like Keras, but I don't think it is Keras. No, it's actually uniform. I think also something that goes wrong here with these, I haven't fully explored these LoRa's being stacked on top of each other. They definitely do something, but like turning them up too high destroys the image. That's a separate issue that I had to go through, which is not fun. If you're like, I'm using a 4090 and even then it's pretty slow, and then the quality I need to take into measure. I can reduce the quality, but then it might actually be good to like make this a little bit less than and then make sure, which should mean that what I should be doing is here I probably should add another math node like this one, simple math, that is adjustable in both of those, where I can adjust by a percentage these but this is getting a little weird. You know, it becomes like this sort of forest of all these computes that need to be done, which is not bad, but again I wish I would have this all already, and I'm having to make these myself in order to make sure that this thing actually runs well. Which is, I'm not complaining, and just at some point I will make these better. This was something where I was trying to do math, but it's actually redundant by now, because I basically have this over here and it's connected to this one, and it's basically, well, the 4K. This is not connected yet. The only problem is that I don't want this to be connected to this one just yet, because here, if I make anything too high or do any sort of mistake here, well, in just any part of the progress, but then again, if it's gonna start failing over here, if it's I don't actually know why it's not doing the out of memory thing anymore. Before, when I did the Rive VFI or like these, it would just give me an error that I couldn't do it. It doesn't do it anymore. I think maybe after an update or something. I liked the errors more than that it just oversteers and does it anyway, which has been giving me a lot of issues lately, related to when I'm out of VRAM and it's still going, and it's doing something on one of these. On one of these I can actually turn it off. It's not, if it's not too bad. After a step it stops if I cancel, but like for example this one doesn't have steps, and because there's no steps it just jams because it needs to finish, and so tells you no until you finish. Resetting my graphic card doesn't work. There's no way to turn this off, which is something that really needs to be built in, which again comes back to this queue not being fully functional and fully the way it should be. Again, the main reason I'm going to be complaining about these things and telling you about these things is because I hope sincerely that I can inspire someone to actually work on this, or either I'm working on it myself. In general, I would hope people use this thing. I think the more people work on this thing, I think this is like the final frontier of any sort of software. If like 1 million people are working on this and just doing whatever, like creating 3D models with AI, creating video with AI, creating audio with AI, everything you can do in here, and you can connect it to Blender. And I actually started Blender. But it didn't open when I actually started. Let me see what I have. I'd really want to partly show some animations that are working out. Like, I find this very fascinating, pretty interesting. One of the problems still is like using SD 1.5. I really want to go to SDXL. SD3 is a problem due to licensing issues, which is sad. And from the images that I've seen of it, it's really good, but also really bad. It still doesn't do hands right. I know there is LoRa's for hands, but you know, just make sure hands work out of the box instead of that it doesn't even work with negative prompting. Blender is a while ago since I've opened this one. Now one of the things that I'm going to be doing with Blender is for this one currently I'm using like GIFs for this, but I actually want to have more control over what I am doing in here. I find this interesting. There's like a ton of flowers in here. In the description here it says it should be black and white. Which one is it here? Oh, it does say with the... It says prompt aren't really needed in this workflow. IP adapter is doing all the prompting. Negative prompt is ignored at 1.0 CRG anyways, and that's where the extra inference speed comes from. And that is bullshit. That is absolutely bullshit, because these roses are prompted for in here. And they are, I think, not really, or are there roses here? Oh, there's a rose here. And there's flowers. There's indeed flowers. Okay, so maybe it is. In my opinion, it does actually add flowers on its own. Maybe I am now here imagining it. Of course, you know, if I'm prompting for something, it's gonna very likely be the case that I am, you know, I have the same mentality, or I'm prompting for something in here that I am using as an image. One of the things though that I want to do or integrate here, I don't want to go OpenAI. My prompts are stored in my images, but one of the nodes, which again I'm probably not gonna find, dynamic prompts. Lex tool, image processing, classification, food category classifier node, document classification node, art or human classifier node, captioning, image captioning. Interesting. Okay, so it has probably clip functionalities, upscale, aspect paths. Would it be in images, animation, upscaling, post-processing? Can he save image, preview image? No. Path, image, composite mask, constrain image? No, it's a special one. Image and mask preview, get later. I also don't always get the masks, or like the previews, I'd say, rather, when I add these preview animation, it doesn't necessarily run just because it's connected. I see this is getting so out of hands. Clip text encode prompt. Okay. It's hanging a bit. Okay. I don't think this works, or does it? No, this does not work. A yellow dot. Do we see a yellow dot in here? No. Then there's probably another sort of node that we need to attach here. Conditioning, yeah, okay, I get the text and then it's probably gonna plug into there, but what am I like supposed to, I don't even remember already. Clip text encode prompt, clip set last layer, conditioning average. Concatenation, set area, conditioning, clip vision encode. Style model, apply style model. Okay, again, conditioning, style model. Oh, okay. But this is not a style model. Do I have style models? I don't even know. Let's see what we have more in there. Loaders, no. Apply control. Is there no load style model? Cut off base prompt. I'm going through all of these looking for a node that I found like a while ago and already don't know where it is at anymore. CSV loader is not going. Dynamic prompt, random prompt, combinatorial prompt, no. Magic prompt. I remember magic prompt. Where's the prompts here? Okay, like over there. Conditioning, string, seed, randomize. Is this going to just prompt? I remember these. Yeah. Lex tool, image processing. Seed increment, Lex tool, logic miss text. Logic gates, conversion. Math, Zulini, no. Pop up. SD prompt reader, okay, prompt saver, parameter generator, prompt merger, type converter, batch loader, parameter extractor, LoRa loader, prompt reader. But this is another one for clip. Oh, this is text encode. Where is the... Oh, okay. Prompt reader, this one. This one doesn't even work. Like, I tweak this one. And is it supposed to just give me this, or am I supposed to plug this in somewhere? Why can I not like see the actual... And one other problem, like I'm gonna, like a lot of my problems are gonna go away, at least to a certain extent once I'm gonna get, like, I'm currently running my 4090 on this computer. I'm gonna get it on a server separately on Linux, and then connect this here so I can be in this browser, not with the 4090 running on the same computer, and still record and like do other stuff. Run this one on a 3060, do some other stuff on my other computer or the other two computers, and just get this whole server set up for production. Which is going to be interesting to see if I can actually run the same code. It should be, because it's only Python and JavaScript, but whether I can actually just run ComfyUI, the same ComfyUI folder on both Linux and Windows at the same time as a remote, as a, you know, as a, what's the name? When you like use the software on the go. I'm at a loss for the right word for it, but these are going There is some new ones finished, but it's not. I'm trailing off into like weird thoughts. Let's see. What else do we have here? Did I open this one last time? Like this could be nice enough. It could be higher quality, I think. As a scene, this could count. Here again, we're drifting into good stuff, and then the inverted stuff. This is inverted, this is right, inverted, right. I think this is very definitely. I'm actually going to load this one in here, and what I'm going to do is this is Keras. So I'm going to turn Keras off. This is upscaled a certain way, and this has these on. As I said before, they were inverted. I'm going to actually run this one again. I'm also going to take a look at the okay. Can I actually use either? Oh, I can. This okay. Now this boolean that I was talking about before, this is basically just a switch. So currently I am in widescreen. True is widescreen. False is vertical. So I'm going to do a widescreen and I'm going to do a vertical. I hope I don't have any issues here. CSG is at 2. I'm actually going to do one. Am I going to do this one twice? I don't think so. It'll be fine like that. Unless, no, you know what? I'm going to take this one to 1. I've been seeing really good results with just adding the CFG to 1 twice. I'm gonna, just for the sake of science and testing things out, I'm just going to do both of these. I've already rendered these, so the likelihood that something's going to go wrong with this one is slim, but it still can happen. Like a lot of these are weird and just not okay. Like again, Keras, not a good choice, but I do want to see what's behind this. It can be in these cases that there's like stuff going on because of these. I'm going to go 0.6 on this one. This is usually not good if I am adding those too high. I have noticed. I can do like that. Keras. I'm actually just gonna go 1 CFG. Which means, you know, the prompt is mostly ignored. I think it still has some influence, but I might be completely wrong. I like these sorts of images. Some of the best ones, I don't know if it's from this one, but there's like there was a period in the beginning where I was turning out pretty good stuff. Currently going through my files. They're loading pretty slowly. Yeah. I might do this one again at a higher quality. Oh, this is, yes. This is what I mean. This is like kind of like the original setup, but it was like all set to like not be super well thought out. This is going to go to 1.75 by multiplication, and this is probably too low, or maybe not. I'm gonna take 4, and this is again if you don't have automation set up, this is not. What is it again? 2160, 3840. Hoping I didn't put any wrong values in here, and then I can actually do this one again. And I'm gonna hope this one comes out in a nice way, because overall this one has a really nice feel to it, but it's not quite quite on par with like my standards. And again, if everything is manual, you're just 3840. I'm not gonna bother these old ones. I think one of the things that I'm gonna do or try and figure out is, like, I know the code for this, and I know the code for like where to find, you know, the JSONs. And if I can just get the data and the connections, then I can actually just replace this in like my better setup, and then it's connected. And if that doesn't give any issues, I can just start redoing these old ones according to my wishes. But this, like, there's a lot of technicalities there to be dealt with. I just switched those two around. If this had just a switch button, dude, like just a switch button to do 512 and 288. Give me 1 second. I'm going to queue this one, and then 1 sec. So I think what I'm doing here isn't even right. So this again, automation is very important. This isn't right. This can be right. I don't think this is, or is it scalable? I do think it's 3.75. Yes, scalable by 3.75. So it should actually, it should be the same aspect ratio, I hope. Otherwise things are gonna get stretched. If I make even a slight mistake in here, this is not gonna end up well. But I got a little distracted. I was looking for something as I was going through these. My initial images were mainly like standing up. Again, look, this is just because of the resolution not being right and the CFG being way too high when I made them. If I take this one and I look at these, everything's on false. At some point I turned it on, the inverts on, so they are not on here. Hello real model. These do not have much negative prompts. Okay, these are kind of nice images. I can tell why the end result looks the way it does. So I'm going to try again this one and this one on one. That is okay. I'm gonna 4x you. Am I going to do that one in widescreen? Probably not. It might be cool though. 3, 8, 40 to 160. Okay, and then that should be fine. But I'm looking at this for a specific batch. It should be here somewhere, interpolated. I think I did these in interpolated mode. Here is some other ones that were kind of like, okay. Like experimentation is not always bad, but like I find this interesting. It's almost decent quality, yet it's not. I'm actually going to use this. I want to be reminded of this one. I'm gonna go. I actually don't know if it's a good idea to put this on 4x. I'm gonna go 3.75. Because if it's too close to, yeah, if the calculation is wrong and it just goes a little bit over and it takes just a tiny bit too much VRAM, then everything is like effed. Okay, so A times 3.75. So you see here I'm already adding automation in these, which can or cannot be a good thing. I need to this is okay times 2. So the initial is 1080p going from, oh, it did not save here, going from 288 by 512 takes a 3.75 multiplication to go to 1080p, and then times 2 is gonna be 4K. Again, I hope that nothing goes wrong, because when it does, everything goes to something. I seem to see an interesting one here again. I think this is where I started doing the inversion problems. Maybe. No. Nope. Okay, no. But interesting enough in and of itself. Okay, 3.75 has been multiplied. I'm gonna go 3.75 for the upscale, for the resolution. I'm gonna make sure you're 4K, and then Q. Where did I leave? These are for another time. These are some of my favorites, like these. I don't know if these are already starting to look these are starting to look a lot better. But again, the symbolism in the originals of these, which are DALL-E images, which I can highly recommend. Like if you want to know how to make really high quality videos, I don't know if they're gonna show up here in a second. Yeah, like these sorts of images really, DALL-E has way more detail than SDXL, especially with like the whole ability to understand symbolism and to add tiny elements in a room and do everything great. And that in combination with SDXL creates these, and it actually, once you give SD or SD 1.5 in this case, like something that it can look at that has the things you want in there, it does understand it, but it's really hard to prompt for this sort of stuff. Like to actually have a room that makes sense that you prompt for in SDXL is a nightmare. They are so bad in architecture, it's so bad in just about anything that doesn't involve like just characters, humans. But like this, it's way better. Like if you look at this and you look at it and you think like this at a higher resolution, a better resolution, this is so much better. But this is kind of like the part where I start to figure it out, which is somewhere along my journey. Start to see these sorts of stuff. Again, SDXL, really nice, but still not the right quality. And then we're getting to where I start to understand how to upscale, or probably where I got my 4090. These are interesting, but here we're like looking at the issue that is my the bane of my existence, the biggest problem that I'm having. Although incredibly interesting, incredibly beautiful, I don't necessarily want, like this is an interesting effect. It's like interesting, but like these and then the certain transition into that's not good. I'm actually wondering now whether one part of that is due to an inversion being on. No. These were interesting too. I think I'm actually doing the previous ones. Here I'm really starting to get what like 4K can do, or like how I can make things look believable, realistic and nice. But it's still, although this is interesting shape wise, it's still not quite, it's not moving in a way where it makes sense. I'd like to have you make it crawl or something. It is some robot. This doesn't, well, this doesn't quite, it looks a little bit like the robots that I initially used for it, but it's stylistically I don't like it. There's still work to be done there. If it shows anything, probably not. No, it's not gonna do it. And I'm getting into these. I think still there is like quality wise, these, I'd like this one in a good quality, and I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to take a look at the other one too. Again, quality wise, this could be great. But here I went wrong somewhere along the lines. 8 times 2, okay. It's mainly here that I need to amplify this one, because I tried changing these settings here, and if I don't watch out for it being 8 times 1 or anything there, this might start upscaling 4K, and here it actually worked with this, but like once it goes to VFI, it just tries to actually do the 4K interpolation, 8K interpolation, and it was just not having it. It did not want to do what it was supposed to do. I actually can then... Have I got here the... Yeah. So I do have the boolean here already, which converts into here. So I can actually apply the boolean and turn this off. And then I'm going to do it for the other one too. I'm actually just going to do this, yes. Q. It's always like fear creeping up on you if you're doing a whole batch, because this will very likely go wrong at some point. Let's see. When do I figure out the 4K? Because I'm still looking at a lot of these sorts of half-assed. But this is kind of where I'm going and where I was wanting to go to. I am forgetting something while I am upping the res. I need to turn this to 1. I can't forget. Just doing that one is not enough. The whole reason that these are so blue is because the CFG was too high when I was doing them. I need to turn that down. I don't know how much or how far that actually adjusts the image, but we'll see soon enough. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah. So 3.75. Only one CFG. I'm gonna queue you. Turn off the boolean. Do the next one. It would actually probably be better if I had like these two go into a loop and then do it twice, and once with and once without the boolean, so I don't have to press the Q twice, but I'm not there yet. And given the speed and the times, it might sometimes be disadvantages. Okay. Maybe it's... Okay. I do have some. Okay, here I have the quality on point, which is still in the same day, but I just kind of forgot, like I'm looking at the interpolation ones that kind of go slower, but the interpolation started failing once the detailing went up at some point. It doesn't have anything to do with the detailing, but it had something to do with something somewhere with the multiplication of something that I solved later on. I don't remember how or what or why. So I find these to be interesting and to get interesting. Now that I'm here anyway, it might actually be... Can I take a look? Was I doing the... 4? I think it's the 4. That's what did it. And that's why I am using 3.75, because it's just a tiny bit too much for the 4. I believe so. CFG down, and now I'm going to give that one another shot. I actually would like to see the previews, but it's not giving me the previews. It doesn't even have... Okay, interesting. Let me see here then as well. Then I might have actually got better... Okay, these are already better resolution. I'm actually going to take a look at these. Where am I resolution wise? Okay, it did a scale by 4. The scale by 4 is going to end up not allowing it and erroring it out with the VFI. Unless the update actually is going to allow it to run that I've been and that is going to jam up or not jam up, dependent on whether that was necessary. It does look low in quality, and this is one of the problems with the CFG, I believe. If I turn down the CFG on this, this is very likely going to look way better quality. So I'm actually going to test and try that out. Queuing it, and normally yikes. Okay, I still need to do this one manually here. 512 288, and it's a 4. I'm gonna make you 375 in the hopes that that mitigates any potential issue with the VFI. If I look at this one, you can here tell very much what the CFG does. Like, this is way too blue. I think the initial images are quite blue, but it's too blue in a certain way. It needs to be toned down with the CFG. It really needs to rely solely on the image itself and nothing else. I'm gonna pick 3.75. That makes it even just a tiny bit faster in general. It still does the image sharpen, which usually causes a problem. But I am looking for specific I'm not actually showing you the off screen here, but like this is where just everything went to shit. The previous ones are, I think, no. Here I've got tons of these. Okay, we're getting at the good part. Here's where I start to figure it out, start to get a grip on these ones. This is still... Yeah, I think I also like turned... no, I did not actually, so I'm going to redo these. Here I have a lot more going on. I'm going to look 2 times. 0.25, so that's not a good one. I'm gonna go 4. Lancos GFG1. Okay, I'm gonna do one. Can I boolean this one? If I can, I will. Okay, Q. And I'm gonna take this one to 1, 2, just to... I actually think this is just more or less the same. There's always differences. Let me take a look at these. I'm not finding the ones that I'm looking for. I think it's just one or not many of them. Alright. I'm gonna... Oh, good. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this one. This is nice. This reminds me of like a certain type of trip. Not quite like this. Like I'm going to try and do that. Like I remember like being on something and then it was like this. But it was like a whole tapestry of like, you know, with tears in there and like just like an idyllic painting, and it engulfed me, and it was like kind of like that. This is why I like AI so much and these sort of stuff, because it's like literally like that. Just like if you're doing something and you're like halfway into it and your thoughts become reality and everything is in there. It's like this, but now I'm creating the thoughts by typing them in, and there's a delay and it's not quite as the same. But it is just interesting to see that like if you model a brain, then you actually are able to reproduce those types of experiences inside a computer. I think this one is going to be a quality issue. But this could again be kind of interesting. But it's like these are made from I can instantly tell these are made from Midjourney images, and it does not seem to like Midjourney images. I think it's just a tad bit too advanced for it to comprehend Midjourney. Midjourney images are too advanced for it to comprehend properly. A lot of the times, it really just gives its own sort of spin to it when it's doing. Here it's like almost, you can tell there's like a train that's going to come up, that I created. I'm gonna see if it loads it. Probably not. Nope. I can refresh, but I'm not gonna refresh. Tends to veer towards more Asian stuff. I like this one. This is really nice. Okay. And the quality is pretty okay here too. You know. But dark, and I think if I put this one in here, this is gonna be 3. I'm actually going to try. I'm gonna do 2. One like this, and I'm gonna boolean this one. Yes. Oh. I just misclicked on these, and which gave me an idea, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. Or an idea, something that I'm going to do. These need to be scalable, but I am not quite fully certain about how loops work in here, and with all these nodes, it's difficult to figure everything out. Maybe I just need to make my whole own node set, but it's like doing a lot of work for stuff that already exists is not something that I am very fond of doing. But I'm gonna have to do the math myself, because if you use ChatGPT, even 4.0, the math on this stuff is so advanced, it does not give you a good result, or it doesn't understand it at all. Like, I can give all these parameters, tell exactly what this is going to do, tell it to look it up, tell it to do the math, and it just returns like gibberish. It does not understand that, you know, these are frames and that it needs to be offset according to like the batch size, which I then would give as an integer, and that it would then have to scale and have like algorithms and patterns for how I want to do the masking and have it float in and out of the you know, do the overlays and how they need to float in and out, and how it affects each other. It cannot do it, so I really need to take a good hard look at it there and do that all by myself, sadly enough. This one again, made with Midjourney. It is doing the Midjourney interpretation a lot better here, but it's still, the lag thing is like annoying thing, but it's still I actually like it here, to my surprise. I am going to add this here, and I am actually going to do 1. I'm actually putting this one on 1 too, then I don't want to have anything of or too much prompt stuff there. Okay, let's see. And this is not going up, which means I need to reload me model. I don't know how long ago that didn't. Oh, it is going up 38. Is it going to go to 39 too? Let me take a quick second. 43. Is it? This is also faulty. It's like not doing a good numpy array and returning gibberish. Okay, 43. Is it that one? It could very well be that one. Okay. Let me take a closer look at this one. This should not be. Is this a ×2? No. 4. I want to know what does the preview look like of that one. I think I'm. Yes. Yes, I am here. Okay. Yeah, I'm where I wanted to be. Okay, so the preview looks like this. So the preview already has double-headed stuff. Yeah. 0.5. I'm gonna take a look if I can help this from happening. 1, 1. Q. Is this a by 4? Yeah, this is a by 4. Switch this. Okay, kill. These are the ones I was looking for. It's not exactly the one. I found it in the preview, the one, but it's not yet in the upscaled model one. That I have found it. If it can please show up. Aha. Now remember all the way back when I started looking. And I had here it should now start to display the previews again because I refreshed not so long ago. Okay. If you do these sorts of stuff with these swirls, it does know how to interpret that for like a cool VFX like style and look. So it does do these swirls, like VFX swirls, and I really enjoy that in there. It makes it look really nice. Especially in this one. I'm going to try and do that one again. Maybe with some different parameters and settings. So I'm gonna put you just on plain on 1, 1, and 3.5 coming from. Okay, we're a bit more advanced in here. Okay, this is a batch 144. Actually gonna check out how that pans out in the, because my animations used to be longer. Then that means it's doing it mainly longer over there. Okay, that interval, and then basically it's gonna do the last one in these ones overextends because this is set up. Although the frames here are set to 144, these masks are set up for 96. So the last one is just a repetition of what it's interpreting from, I think, the first one. But what it interprets from the first one is partially my prompt, and then that, and I can take a look at what comes out if I have like less CFG or more CFG on there, that it ignores the prompt. Let me see. Did I start these? No, right? No. One 3.5. Should I put this to 4? I wanna have the interpolation. Does it have the interpolation? It does not have the interpolation. But is that because it didn't do it, or is that because it was done with my 3060, which would not be possible because then it is what? No. Okay. If you look at these here, nice. I'm gonna take a look at what was coming out of here. what are the setups on these? 1.1, 0.5 is this one, and I think this one is 0.75 or something. Yeah, 0.75. Oh, so it's half. So if I compare these two, there is noticeably less artifacting than if I compare with this. And this is the 0.5 as a premise to start. And then this is it does look like Stable Diffusion looks a lot better when it's actually moving than the regular images, because now you can still probably you know that it's Stable Diffusion, but it looks less Stable Diffusion just because of the movement. This is still a lot of artifacting, double faces all over the place, 4 boobs, bodies stacked on top of bodies. Let me check this out. I think this is already 0.50, yeah. But if I compare it to the 0.75, so the 3/4 of a 1080p, then this is the 0.75, which is just all over the place. They're now so double that they're like, yeah. But then compared to this one, this one is like already, it's a lot more wanting. I think I need to like find like the perfect balance. And once I've had the perfect balance, then all this will be beautiful and fine. The quality is better than Luma AI, but I actually wonder if I take video of Luma AI that I can then just like add it to Stable Diffusion and increase the quality, which I would likely do or try to do. I think, oh geez. Oh geez. What is this? I am going to... This is 0.25. 0.25 is about to come out. It's actually already done in the upscaled model, but that does not look good at all. This is faster because it's not interpolated. Okay, so it drifts here into, okay, nice, and then nice, but why? How does this look in the preview? So in the preview, there is none. There is nothing in the preview. This is what I was saying. I suspected this already. So for these, of course, in the preview there is issues. For this one, let's see. there's actually almost 0 to none. Which means if I try and do this one again, this is the 0.5. That's not scaled by 1. That is, oh yeah, okay. A times B. But the A times B leads to nowhere, I think. What is this one here? No, that's not one where it's connected to. Empty latent image. A times B, and where does B come from? Okay, from there. So it's outputting, yeah, okay, sure. Maybe it would be better if I actually had this one over here. So these are outputting in this one here. I'm gonna put this here so it's, or here so it's visible. So this is putting it in here, the width and the height. And it multiplies it, so it's cut in half. But then when I do the upscale, it's going to go to 1080p here. So I would have to cut those in half. What's the point then? I wonder if there is a different... It might, of course, be... I do need to... What I am going to do is this denoise. The denoise value is pretty high. I'm gonna go and exaggerate this. I'm gonna go... I'm gonna do one with 5 denoise. No, 1 is the maximum. Okay. Maybe the amount of steps could reduce that. I'm gonna go 1 Q 0.5 Q 0.25 Q and 0.1 Q, and I'm gonna go to the original one, the 0.35. Or is it the 45? I'll take 35 and I'm gonna try some with 1 step, 3 step, and another one with a 6 step. I'll put this back to 8. CFG1. Maybe one with a 0.5 CFG. .1 CFG. I actually don't think that one is really good for that. 0.7 maybe, 0.7. Maybe it's a combination of them. But I'll see later. Like, look at this preview. I can almost guarantee you that what is going to come out of here is not going to look as nice. Maybe. This would be really nice, really cool, awesome. If it wouldn't be the case that it's very likely to end up creating these bizarre double face. Humans. You know, this effect would be cool in a lot of instances. Like for example, I could do like those totem poles of like, what is it, Indian American totem poles? Are they or is in Inca? I don't think it's did the Incas do that? I'm gonna look it up actually. Maybe I'll learn it. Totem pole. Yeah. Like if I would like use that effect, it would maybe be cool if I just prompt or make some totem pole like stuff and then put it in there, and then that would be, this would look actually a lot better, because then it doesn't matter how many heads it has. But actually I wonder too what it would look like, just like tables, vases. Is it mainly, it seems to be mainly a face and sometimes body, double body parts problem. I think if you look at like the roses and the other attributes in the scene, they don't seem to really have that issue at all. So it's very likely a problem with the human, the understanding of the human anatomy, and the SD 1.5 and the stable diffusion, like not understanding of hands and stuff. But this is getting where I want it to be. I mean, this looks, as it's playing, more realistic than I look on my webcam. This is way better lighting, this is like movie quality, this is so beyond like what you're seeing here. It might be cool if I could, one of the things that I want to do is do this in real time and like enhance my image of myself in real time with like AI. I already have the green screen, so I can start like doing movements and like start putting those in. I can start overlaying myself with these effects and move it around. Maybe that mitigates some of those problems. I am going to end streaming though for today. Is this the best I had for now? Again, the ones that I'm making now is after a lot of issues, like a lot of issues. I am there when it comes to quality. I understand quality. I am not completely there when it comes to like cohesion. It doesn't flicker like it used to. Like if I compare this to like PyT, for the people who don't remember PyT, PyT was like the early versions, or like I think I started at PyT 3, maybe 2, I think 3, if you remember those. Do I have anything of it? I have an album, I think, of PyT. PyT, yes, with 52 videos. If you remember like PyT, like none of you are going to remember, because a lot of you or most of you are not like OGs in AI. But this is what AI used to look like, and this is like, you think you see some stuff in here, this is overlays of my 3D work. Like if you see here, like this character is just actually 3D, but it's like overlaid. It was super surreal, super psychedelic, super like out of this world. Really nice though. I miss this sort of effect. That's like all over the place and like super cool to look at. But it used to, that's maybe not a video I'm looking for. These are the old ones, the first ones that started to come up and like did a nice job. Where is the... Do I have... It says 52 videos, so there should be... Yeah, I mean like this. Or no, it's with a butterfly, wait. Okay, no, that's not... That's just a depth map of a piece of software. Is this... No. Do I not have any of those? Or did I don't think I actually never did animation with this AI. Like, look how beautiful this is. You can't make this with Stable Diffusion. I might actually use this for like prompting. I actually don't think I never ever, yeah, no, I did use Spitey for animation. I remember doing that though. I 100% remember. Or was that like out of my league back then because it was just not... There's butterflies. I know it's not the right animation when there's butterflies in there, but if... For the people who don't remember, like, when you compare it to like this sort of stuff. Oh. A second. Just a show for 5 seconds, or not even 5 seconds, one fraction of a second. Look it up. I'm not gonna show you. I'm gonna close the stream here for now. I think like next time and in the following times I am just going to start delving into code because it's you know, very important to do code, but it's a lot to go through. It's so much code to like read. I'm taking like so many courses on so many types of math that I can't even count anymore. I don't even know if it's that, like, how important is that if I just can just go through all the code and just understand the code and start to think like code and not have the formal explanations there, know it on an intuitive level, which might be hard to in it. Okay, Comfy Math. Pi Project Tomo, readme Apache 2.0 source bull. Norx or named ain't snore or ek neck. I know most of these. Maybe not that well. Control, convert, float, neg, ink, dick, abs, skirt, exponent, log 10, log 2, sin, cos, tan, asin, surge. The usual. graphics. Nice. ComfyUI essentials. LUT image.py. IPA adapter plus. This is one that I was looking for. Cross attention patch. Okay, there's some interesting things. There's people who are asking if you can change the denoise as it is like going through the image or going through the animation, which is interesting. Probably possible. I am not fully aware if the K-sampler is fully like interpreting what is pulling out of the model and like training for the creation of the image. That it then is that a model as a whole that then is then passed through the VAE and then converted into a video, or does that already contain the frames? Is something I don't currently know. I actually don't believe so, but if it's possible, then you can change the noise throughout the image, or you'd have to create a base and then denoise over the frames and then do another denoise over the whole, or another K-sampler over the whole to make it more cohesive and flowing again. But okay. Bye.